and welcome back to F1 Manager 2024 as we deal with 3 non-sprint races in a row. We've got to deal with Monaco, Spain and Canada, none of which we appear to be great at because they all either have recommended or crucial on medium speed cornering, which is our weakness. The good news is, next episode, high speed, DRS effectiveness, crucial, our 2 strengths. So Austria, we're alright at. These 3, 17th, 17th, 16th is the prediction. Weird that it's 16th, but weird that it's an even number. So, yeah, this could be a downturn. That said, Monza, we were predicted to be effectively last. And, well, we weren't last, were we? Arguably, that's possibly our best result because it's our best result in an uncomplicated race. Miami is obviously our actual best result, 2nd and 5th. But arguably, Imola is the most impressive result. Daniel Ricciardo did the fastest lap in 2025 at Imola. All right then. Enzo Fittipaldi has the lap record of Monaco. We're saying there probably won't be any lap records from 2026 because of the regulation change, reducing everyone's speed. I say that. Japan has one. But a lot of these are 2025. Including Valtteri Bottas, who had quite a lot of the historical ones before the game starts. He's now got 2 new ones. Dennis Hauger has Azerbaijan's fastest lap record in history. I'm just scrolling through. Zane Maloney has Singapore's. I should just say as well, front wing and rear wing. Designs are completed on the day of the Spanish Grand Prix beginning, so they will be ready for Canada, actually. Yeah, maybe a bit of pain. Maybe we'll have an Imola. We'll find out. Surprising lack of urgency at the beginning of Q1 here. We're the only ones that have set off. Do they know something I don't know? It is a dry session. Okay, sure. Just because it's a short lap, I'm going to presume we need to get these tyres up to temperature immediately. Incredibly, we did our entire outlap before any driver actually exited the pit. So, clean lap at least for the banker. And it's still only actually just Ricciardo that's come out. No one else has followed him. I'm very confused. A few more now. Right then, just as we complete our laps. I forgot to pay attention to that. I had a feeling we were going to have this. They don't actually do a flying lap issue on the basis of the fact that I saw us do Sector 1 lap times on our outlaps. Cool. So we've not actually done a lap there. Actually, this session's long enough. What am I doing? Go back on those original ones and do an actual lap. Track's still not that busy. That confirms it, by the way, by doing a Sector 1. By coming out of the pits, they actually completed what was the lap they came in on. It's 48 seconds slower than an actual lap, but I think actually we might get away with a clean flying lap here. Someone's just coming out now, but they won't get in the way. Yeah, and they'll be fine. Right, should we get through then? Need to pay attention to that problem. Again, it's incredible that Frontier can fix their game and somehow break it in other ways that make no sense. That being said, I have zero ability to actually read into what's going on lap time wise. We're 4th and 5th. Russell is 9th, Hamilton is 16th. So even if Hamilton was a hindrance, Russell's only 4/10 faster. Leclerc obviously a hindrance, but Verstappen's only 8th anyway. I would say Williams, Alpine and the Audis definitely are worse than us. So even the ones that could go better, I might just save tyres here. It's way too busy on track, so there's going to be plenty of hindrances. It was only Stroll and Leclerc that improved notably there. Magnussen, Pierre, Hauger, Fittipaldi, Hamilton and lap holder, Fittipaldi, Hamilton and Sargent. There's a red flag. I'll see what the issue is. Teo Porcher, Hulkenberg caused a red flag in practice, so both of the Hatters in the wars. I guess he was a little bit on the track, but I suppose in a qualifying session they would rather red flag it than an extended yellow flag. Things might get awkward now though. Everyone might try and go out as soon as we get back. There's still plenty of time in the session, but just because of the way the AI works. Oh no, the rubber situation. I've just realised. Mick's out. Actually, Mick might be able to improve. He was on very worn tyres and maybe had a hindrance. I think it's a futile effort, but Mick does do a faster first sector actually. So, like I say, I think it is largely futile. Vesti does at least still gain half a second. Oh, Malaysia's actually done a faster second sector. All right, actually, the rubber situation, maybe Monaco, one of those weird tracks that rubber doesn't matter too much, just because it's so slow. Yeah, but only puts a buffer in. Yes, it's not enough to get Mick into Q3, but there was still some time he could get, thankfully. I don't imagine Stroll's going to do a good time here either. Yeah, that's the difference. So actually, he's still only 12th, but he did get ahead of Hulkenberg at least. That's unfortunate, because it seemed like we might be all right after Q1. Well, there might be immediate traffic for Zane here, but I think he also got in the way of them, so they may not improve, but Zane provisionally 3rd. I don't know how much of a problem that was for Zane there, but I'd rather they'd moved out of the way on the inside. At the very least, he's scuppered Bottas and I don't know which Slower first sector, brand new tyres compared to old ones, of course. There's going to be an RB to move out of the way here as well. It does so well. I'll take that. Oh, please tell me this McLaren's on a flying lap. I don't think it is. I don't think this. No. Oh, actually, no. I don't know where the trigger point is for flying laps. It might get going. We might be all right. It's Zane's slower anyway. Yeah, of course. Fresh set of tyres, he's slower. Why wouldn't he be? Still third, though. Yuki Tsunoda's sixth in that RB. Interesting that they're telling Mick to do an aggressive two-stop, whereas Zane can get away with a one. Just out of curiosity, you've got one soft tyre, so... It is weird that a two-stop is technically faster at Monaco. Why isn't aggressive slower than a not aggressive? That makes no sense. Okay, so actually not being super aggressive is better. I don't understand Mick's, if I'm honest, because he has two sets of soft, so I don't understand why the hard aggressive, why this strategy is better. Just winging it, really. Off we go to Monaco.
Well then, it's not long until we get started here, and we should be in for a tightly contested race. You and I won't be the only ones keeping an eye on Oscar Piastri, Karun.
They've got a fantastic opportunity starting on pole, but can they carry it through to the end?
But there's no more time left. We've got a race on our hands. We're here and the streets are abuzz at the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
In all the confusion of trying to set a strategy that works, I completely forgot Maloney was starting third and has managed to retain it. It seemed like a really good start from Piastri, but slow from everybody else. He's got to fight for third. He's fighting off a hard-running Leclerc. What are you doing? I know Homeboy's got a point to prove at Monaco. Dispel that curse once and for all, as he started to do in real life. Stroll, the car in front of Mick, has developed an issue, apparently. I love the fact there's always the highlight for those, even though it's not a highlight, is it? Sainz has picked up the pace behind Piastri now, and is annoyingly dropping Maloney. Similarly, though, Leclerc's kind of being dropped by Maloney, and Russell's kind of being dropped by Leclerc as well. Mick has dropped Hulkenberg. He's having a think about Stroll. Verstappen has a fault now as well. Following a wounded Stroll. Doesn't seem to be that wounded. It must. I bet it's ERS. Someone who might be wounded is Drogovic, who's clearly facing the wrong way. Ah, he's done the maneuver. I love that bizarre right turn. It's so stupid, and it should be fixed so easily. They just got to repath that, and yet for some reason they just haven't. Right, so we'll bring the temperatures back down to normal, and then we'll start pushing Maloney again as we always do. Well, hello there. Science has got Piastri, who's done the thing. It's not Drogovic again, is it? He appears to be... I'm not sure you're allowed to park there, Felipe. It's going to be somewhat difficult to recover you from there. I look forward to this replay, which I hope I haven't missed. How have you ended up in the ground?
Big impacts there, and all it can take is one mistake. One moment.
I mean, he's actually fine there. I mean, he was already at the back anyway. Oh, he's back on track. But he's out. Well, let's all get his tyres back anyway, into temperature range. So it is curious that Leclerc has dropped right off. I'll see if we can slip Mick past Stroll, because he has dropped off Bottas. Just going to push these tyres a bit on the restart. Not super aggressive. I say he's dropped off Bottas, he's immediately back in. Maybe he was never actually out. Maybe it was just the VSC times coming back. Mick had a look there. Don't really know why or how that was going to ever be a thing, but lovely move, Mick. Interesting angle to go for, considering he does immediately put Lance in a position where you can't see it. Thankfully, it does. Look back at him. Bottas is on a hard tyre. I did notice there. So I think these two could be gettable if we just allow him to sort himself out and then push them at the right places. If I have to bring Mick in early, I will do. It doesn't matter too much. Verstappen's mechanical fault gets better. Worse. I mean, better for us, but worse for him. Now we just got to deal with Albon as well. Ricardo doesn't seem to be that far ahead of Albon. Oh, well, only still deploying, didn't realise. I wondered how we got so close to Piastri. He's not that good, though. Have we got enough here, Mick? Nope. Okay. Oh, okay, Mick. That's not DRS. It says overtakes Albon. It's completed now, but Mick, I've said it time and time again. Actually, Stroll's got a Bottas as well, I noticed, behind. Mick does love an overtake in a spot that really shouldn't be used for overtaking. But he's up to 9th, and now he has to hunt Ricciardo. Just see if we can deploy into this train. Definitely need to keep, obviously, Alex out of it. Behind. I didn't really deploy into it, he just actually drove into it. Bottas is struggling on those hards now for... I don't know what's going on there. Porsche has gone through him. who's also on a hard tyre, so I don't know what's happened to Bottas. I didn't really see what happened with Albon and Stroll. There was a huge gap between them, and then suddenly Stroll's on his rear wing and Mick's dropped Albon. So Albon must have had a dodgy corner or two or something. This is a train from Russell, and Mick can't really do much about this now. Maloney couldn't stay in Piastri's DRS, but he's driving away from Leclerc. Might get him to do a bit of a... Just get both of them to do a smidge of conserve, because DRS is going to keep Mick in that train. Verstappen's out of DRS himself, so we might just commit that one. Yeah, we just had to get Mick through Verstappen there. And that's that sorted. Simple DRS overtake. He didn't need to do any heroics this time round. Quite straightforward. You'd love to see it. Thank God for our DRS, man. We're so good in the DRS. Like, we're obviously quite rubbish in some areas, but our car's pretty good overall. But this DRS ability of ours is next level compared to most other vehicles, it seems like. We can even utilise the Monaco DRS spot, which isn't really that good normally. I think we might actually get a bit of a fight here with Ricciardo, because we do need to recover fuel. Manny makes his first pit stop, having aggressively attacked those. He's come out behind Ricciardo and Mick. Okay. Yellow flag as Sargent hits the wall somewhere. Only yellow. It's actually a collision. So is this a Sargent turning in on? Yeah, kind of. See, I don't know what... I'm not quite sure what the coding was for that accident. That might have been a Enzo didn't give him room, or he's turned in on Enzo. So make him think about you. It was an Enzo didn't give him room. Bear in mind, Ricciardo also had DRS there. This is killing his race. I'm just thinking, I wonder if we can get Mick away from Ricciardo. We're going far enough away from Ricciardo anyway. And then maybe pit Mick one lap earlier than intended, so he's not in Zane's way. Use this lap just to get Zane a smidge of ERS and what have you back, and get him back on recovering fuel. So try and make sure Ricciardo is outside of DRS himself. Oh yeah, use this period now to recover fuel with Zane. Mick having to just fight his way back through, but every lap he just gets basically DRS on someone. It might be a bit tricky at this lap. Oh no, Verstappen has dropped off Vesti, and he's back up to 12th. Now's a good spot for him to start recovering fuel. Bit of a gap to Hulkenberg. He's still got into Hulkenberg's DRS and through him actually nowhere else. How's he done that? Where did he just get Hulkenberg? He's recovering fuel at this point.
It's certainly inviting.
Mick, Jesus, wept Mick. Limey. He is 10th as well. Bottas next. So worth noting, a lot of these people on hard tyres haven't pitted yet. So that is race position against people like Bottas and Hulkenberg. And it will be against Albon and or Russell if we get up to him before they pit, which he has done. Safety car. Ooh, Mick, actually. I mean, surely from here. Can't do a medium, right? Kind of bearing in mind the first bit is a bit of a 2. It's actually better to have the medium on. You, however, are a little bit kinder on your tyres, aren't you? They're on opposite side of the track, so literally at the point in which the safety car is being called and I've been able to react to it, 45 metres to pit entry from Mick. He'll be the first one to be able to react. Oh, it's red flag. That actually makes it more annoying. Oh, it was right in front of Zane, actually. He wouldn't have been able to get around to the pit anyway. It would have been ages before he got going again. Mick, sorry. No, that was Zane. I think he was lapping. 4th and 8th. How's he 4th? I thought he was 3rd. Yeah, I think I have to do Mick on a hard, but I think I can get away with the medium for Zane, because he could always be a little bit lighter on him at some point. Not quite away we go, Crofty, just because obviously it doesn't allow you to do this on a restart. We've just about got the fuel back, actually, thanks to that red flag on Mick. Maloney's got some in the tank. I'm fascinated to see who's... a lot of people on mediums, and bear in mind Zane's 100 out of 100 smoothness, and he's only just going to be able to do it. There's going to be some significant looking after tyres, I think, from some drivers here, if they want to actually get anywhere. I mean, he does lose Ricciardo, but that's medium versus hard. Maloney must have lost the place to Tsunoda first. But then again, that's medium versus hard, so... Albon behind is on a soft. He's going to have to pit again, which is such a weird choice from them. I'll come off the aggression, actually, immediately there. Hauger's crashed. Oh, yeah. Big one. Hang on. Mick's got Ricciardo back. This wasn't on the straight. This is round the outside at Swimming Ball. Okay, I'll take that. Come off the aggression now. I can leave him pushing the fuel. Might as well. Bear in mind, Albon's got a pit. Mick's in a good spot for good points here. Tell you what, I'll push this fuel in waves, just in case. It says he's gone wide, but he seems to be all right. I don't know what exactly he's gone wide on. He's just clipped the corner. He's cut the corner. It's not actually running wide at all. Yeah, I'll just burn this extra... I'll just burn this fuel in waves on Maloney. Get that temperature down, and then come off it as soon as he overheats again. I was going to say, Mick didn't seem to be capable of dropping Ricciardo. Still hasn't, which is expected, because he's on a faster tyre as Ricciardo, and a faster car. I think clean air is also helping him not get the temperature from this extra fuel burning. Just want to drop Ricciardo and Leclerc, so I might actually deploy for a couple of laps here, as Zane does fastest lap as a result. I'll bring you back because he's on the tail of Russell. Might just give him a bit of deploy in the final, see if we can get him past Russell on the straight. Just give him all guns. Try again next lap. Albon pits, as we knew we would. I'm just going to wait for Russell's tyres to go off a bit more, I think. This might be a good shout because he doesn't seem to be able to drive away anymore. I don't know if Russell was pushing at all there. But Mick's been right in a couple of seconds, a couple of tenths over the last couple of laps. So this might be the opportunity. He's just about held on. No, I might actually keep this extra fuel push. Tsunoda's now the one chasing Maloney. Well, we passed Russell, obviously there, and Ricciardo then passed Russell, and then Russell decided to bin it. Yep, that's the binning. A bit of paint. Another red flag. It's 3rd and 6th. I mean, this is obviously using the remaining soft now, isn't it? Makes Schumacher's a bit like a weeping angel in this race. Every time we, look back at him, he's further up the field. I'm going to presume that, yeah, he's got enough laps. Just because Maloney's was a used soft, so I wasn't 100% confident. Every time this race restarts, Mick's gone up. Started 12th, restarted 8th, restarted 6th. Whereas Maloney's been 3rd, 4th, 3rd. Maloney's had to do it again, re-overtake Tsunoda, but the one I want to see here is Mick on Leclerc. Oh, lovely. Lovely, Mick. I bet he does. Some high-profile casualties in this race. We have dropped Tsunoda, crucially. And we are still deploying with Zane here, so he could... I don't think he's going to get close enough. Our DRS actually isn't even open yet. Oh, Mick did get past Tsunoda. No, Mick's gone backwards. I'm a little bit confused. Leclerc and Tsunoda got through both of us, and they've driven away. I mean, just for the sake of... just in case they get into range of each other. I don't know if it's just because everyone else has decided to push their tyres immediately. That might be what it is. All right, I'll go from here. 3 laps to go. Burning these tyres from here would be fine. This is all about basically getting back to 3rd. How have you not got past Tsunoda there, Zane? It's final lap. How have you messed this up? Unbelievable. If it was Mick, he'd be through already because Mick just decides to overtake anywhere he likes. But because Zane's... I don't know what's wrong with Zane. We've ended up 5th and 6th. It's not a bad a result from a race that we were predicted 17th from, but I just don't really know what happened in that last session, that last phase. I mean, that tells the story. Zane's down 2, Mick's up 6. Still actually gets Zane past Stroll and Verstappen, who retired, and us past Ferrari, for that matter, by a point, which is incredible. We actually get to tell them to manufacture this rear wing now. Oh, that's a bit annoying, actually, because I actually have to wait for one of these to finish before I can get the other ones going. But 18th again for Spain. We'll have a look at that. Q1, not really feeling the need to run again. First laps are pretty solid. Again, I feel fairly confident the Williams and the Alpines are going to end up behind. And yep, we're safe. Ricciardo's had an absolute mate. I don't know what's going on there. I think Hamilton might have been out as well, but he did have a problem. Yeah, he was. Djokovic out too. Obviously, with the banker laps in Q2 being on a used tyre, then they are far more middling than they were in Q1. That being said, we're kind of straddling the cut-off point right now. Maloney 9th, Mick 12th. Certainly time to be got. Track's been improving, I imagine. Only really struggling to put temperature into those tyres, though, for whatever reason. This is the point to get them pushing, though, because it's effectively just one long corner from this point onwards. In the final sector now, no chicane there. Really does open it right up there in terms of pushing. Yeah, but only really struggling to put temperature in those tyres for 10, 12 degrees lower than Mick. I don't know what's happened there. Mick's got his tyres up now. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mick go ahead of Maloney here based on the tyres alone, because that's quite a significant difference. Maloney's effectively done an entire sector and his tyres still aren't anywhere near 95s when they tick over. That's so bizarre. It's normally the way around. In fact, it actually Mick might go the other way. It might overcook him by the end of it. Yeah, he's the slowest sector 1 as Zane. Brand new tyres. Mick has gone faster. Slower sector 2. Doesn't appear to have a lot of ERS either. I don't know what's gone on there. What on earth's happened there? I mean, I think that's out of deployment anyway, even though he hit 0. Yeah, by a huge margin. Mick goes 5th. Maloney's out. I have no idea what he did on his prep lap, but he was clearly an utter moron. He didn't get the tyres up to temperature, clearly used his battery when we didn't charge it in the pits of some stupid thing. Because Mick was fine. Mick had 49%. Admittedly, full deployment on both of them anyway. I don't think it mattered on Maloney. I think even if he started on 50%, that 50% is exactly what he used. Because that's the most you can use. He's out, but it's 11th. What a weird performance from Zane. I do not understand that. And his engine's fine, by the way. Decent engine parts. They're basically using equivalent engine parts. It's brand new ERS as well, because it was gone to close to 50%, the old one. So can't even blame that issue on ERS. Like, I figured there's deployment from here on the outbound lap, of course. And then it resets on the start-finish line, of course. But what was that? 16%? He's used 16% of the battery before he's even started the lap. Which means Zane must have been at most 66% when he got to the point where we started pushing him. We're going to need that RB to get out of the way. Quite sharpish. Mick may have had an almighty toe from Verstappen there. In fact, goes faster than him. I mean, this is almost uncharted territory for Mick, I think. In a dry session, anyway. All right, let Spain begin. Right then, flying lap, Q3, Spain. He's not done as well on the preparation this time round. I think part of it might actually just be moving out of the way for Charles Leclerc, who I hope returns the favour as that red dot gets bigger in the... But I think Mick should just be alright. Turn 1, he's essentially up to temperature tyre-wise. This should, in theory, be a faster lap. It is obviously used tyres versus new tyres now. It's at the end of the session when the rubber and the grip is at its absolute maximum. He has gone faster in Sector 1. He might even have a notch above confidence-wise. He does. Everything is going in Mick's favour in order to do a better lap. It's whether he actually complies. The shorter layout here, of course, is a shorter lap, so the gains are obviously going to be marginal. It's only a 1:12 here now. That's kind of Monaco territory in terms of lap time. Obviously still not quite as short as somewhere like Austria, but faster first, faster second. No purples though. Mick goes slower in Sector 3, I guess. New tyres, brand new tyres. It's 6th at best. It's 7th. It's Porsche, weirdly, the one that went faster. Out of Porsche and Verstappen, I know which one I was expecting to go ahead of Mick there. What did he do there? 9 thousandths, shy of a 10th. And then, yeah, 1.2 of a 10th, basically. Yeah, he shouldn't have gone slower there, but whatever. We're used to it by now. I think this is about to be a really fun one. Spain notoriously is a tyre-hungry track. A lot of teams often get caught out because AI is not clever enough, get caught out by the tyre wear here and run sub 30% on occasion, and punctures do happen. It was a huge problem on the original game, 22. Because of the regulation changes, everyone's tyre preservation statistics are worse. And probably, actually, theoretically, I probably should have put on the suspension that gave me better tyre preservation rather than the one that took it off, to put us better instead in that regard. You can see Mick automatically, actually, the standard strategy is given me. It's weird it's given Maloney one that's 2 mediums and hasn't given me Mick one that's 2 mediums, because obviously what you do is that. That's such a... Oh, hang on. This is the one it was trying to give me, wasn't it? So... yeah, 3 seconds faster should be on a medium. Bear in mind, of course, there's a wedge at the end of that stint there, which will be burnt up on the first lap. So, yeah, Mick has to do medium, hard, medium. And, I mean, Zane can get away with that. But the one thing, hang on. One thing I will do is I'll move that back 1 lap, and I'll move that back to 3 laps? 3 laps. So that he's got a lap to burn at the start, and then this has got a lap to burn maybe on either end if it needs to, and then this is obviously running to the end of the race. It might get a bit tricky early on with them being on different tyres. They're not too far apart on track. 4 laps out of 9 potential. I'm trying to work out why Mick has a blue triangle here and Zane doesn't, but whatever. I'll say right now, between his mentality and his confidence off the start, very high being the status quo point, 93 accuracy, 92 cornering, 91 overtaking. That's probably what the difference is between Mick and Zane. I don't know whether the aggression difference is either, but Zane's overtaking is only 84 right now with his engineer being bedded in. He's not got quite as high confidence. Only 84 on the overtaking front. Obviously his cornering is obscene, but it's the one area that Mick does have a big advantage on.
The anticipation is really building here. The fans in attendance are absolutely buzzing with excitement. This could be a big race for that man right there, Lewis Hamilton.
19th isn't a great way to start this one off, but let's see what they can do in the race.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. One of the oldest races on the Formula One calendar. This is the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Is that a hard runner on second? I mean, he's got the jump Sainz has. Sainz is on a hard tyre. Sorry, hang on. Did Lance Stroll have... Sorry, I actually need to check right now. Who was on pole? Carlos Sainz was on pole. Okay. My brain didn't compute the starting positions the right way around. For some reason, I thought Sainz was in position 2 and got the jump on a hard tyre. But Mick had, speaking of getting a jump, on Porsche. It only remains 11th for now. Didn't do it off the line, did it? Here. Just perhaps a little bit held up by the McLaren on the inside there, Porsche. Was forced to back out, and Mick's got him. It's all batch of medium tyres in this little pocket, with Tsunoda ahead and Porsche behind. Most people on a soft, which does surprise me, considering how the tyre wearer is here. I wonder if people are actually deliberately going to try a 3-stop, because everyone's the car's tyre preservation statistics across the board would be quite low. But yeah, while Zane loses in overtaking, he definitely gains in smoothness. Porsche fighting back though. Immediately. I don't know what's going on there. No DRS, of course. That's just slipstream. It's probably not smart to push mixed tyres, or Zane's for that matter, beyond lap 1. Keep fuel, keep ERS burning, but I think tucked up behind... Well, it has to be Russell, I guess. Gasly had nowhere to go, and Zane decided to capitalise. Good work, Zane. That's the kind of overtaking I wish you'd done. Wait, you're still 11th. What's happened there? Who was behind you originally? Oh, Pierre must have got him at some point. That's the only way to explain that. I missed that then. Maybe on this straight. I don't know. Oh, we don't really have extra to burn now. Keep a tiny bit in the tank just so... Oh, he's actually got Russell. Wait, how have you got Russell? Everyone's in a DRS train here, are they not? It's hard to tell if he actually had DRS or not, but it looks like he might have been close enough. Pretty good if he was in a train. That's just pure DRS on DRS. If so, Mick, meanwhile, speaking of DRS, homes in on Yuki Tsunoda. I think he'll be little too late to actually make a move. Yuki covers that really late. That's not on Yuki Tsunoda. But now there's not really a huge amount to micromanage. Tsunoda's got a mechanical fault. And something else has happened, I think. There's a yellow flag. I don't know who's done something. It's how... Oh, God. Lewis, are you all right?
And then the car just goes.
I mean, that's not even a spot to spin on, Lewis. How have you managed that? But yeah, Yuki being wounded is going to help Mick here, because A, he's put him clear, and B, it's going to hold up Verstappen. He's also in Leclerc's DRS. So, it won't be too long before Verstappen gets past. I don't think Mick has it in him to get anywhere beyond 4th right now, so it's going to be a to and fro with Leclerc by the looks of things. But if you offered me beforehand a 4th or 5th, depending on who ends up ahead of Mick and Leclerc, then I'd have taken that. It'll go away from us as the fuel equalises, of course. Maloney, meanwhile, on the softs, has got himself past Tsunoda as well, and that's him on the back of Max Verstappen being overtaken. I'm recording this of the weekend of the Brazilian Grand Prix. The sprints just happened, and I don't yet know the result of is Max being a naughty boy again investigation. In fact, they might actually have the result of that by now. But nonetheless, Max has still been a very naughty boy over the last couple of weeks. Okay, so Mick has now caused a one train with the 2 Ferraris and Zane at the back of it. Still angling on Leclerc, but it's all about DRS versus DRS because it's just one batch of 4 right now. The game appears to be coded quite awkwardly to make the person ahead defend quite late. Mick did the same thing as Tsunoda did earlier. Not necessarily going to let them brace, but Maloney at least gains confidence if he ever takes him legitimately. Although Maloney's tyres are now going against him a little bit, I think. Although he's got back into DRS range. I don't quite know what's happened there with Maloney. He fell right out. Mick's still fighting with both the Ferraris. It's absolute ding-dong. 14 laps in. Zane pits soon-ish. Tsunoda, despite this ever-worsening mechanical fault, gets closer. Leclerc makes an absolute hash of trying to overtake there. Going to end up trying on the outside, which won't work for him eventually. How's his soft tyres doing? 42%. They're worse than Maloney's. Sorry, 39. Way worse than Maloney's. I don't know what he's doing there. He's probably trying to burn them now to pit. Hauger's on 30. Bottas on 30. You see what I mean about the tyre wear rates? Ours versus everyone else's. Sargent's already pitted. Maloney gets Verstappen. Sorry, I didn't see that one. That was behind, outside of DRS. We're watching the action closely, says Crofty there. Oh, now we can see it. Okay, lovely. Right. Now, Mickey... Actually, no. I'm not going to tell Mick not to fight because Zane's tyres are about to go off. If Mick can actually get ahead, legitimately, that would be great. Because Mick could do with that confidence boost. And hopefully he can drag Maloney through this DRS zone in the middle of the track. I'm hoping Maloney's got enough in there. Stick him on aggressive just to make sure he gets there. I don't think I can put him on super aggressive just because that might put him under 30%. What's the maximum called? Oh, attack. Right. Verstappen's developed a fault as well out of kind of nowhere. Mid now in pit window and on course quite nicely as well. Verstappen and Leclerc pit off softs, of course, yes. Same tyre. I dread to think what Leclerc's were on by the time he pitted. He was on 30. He was like 4% worse than Maloney, and Maloney came in on 32, 31. Piastri's yet to pit. He's on 32%. We can see Mick, 47%, hasn't really pushed these mediums too much. Ogabo 43, Porsche 45, Tsunoda 40%. Most of them are behind the curve on tyre wear than our car. Although we're not, actually no, we've got the package on now that brings us into the midfield on tyre preservation, don't we? So that's maybe just us not pushing them quite so badly. What's the gap to Porsche? Use this opportunity to conserve fuel, Mick. Maloney, meanwhile, has come out in the DRS of Dragovic, so I'm going to need you to get past him immediately. He pits. So it's time to start conserving. Verstappen with his broken vehicle is dropping right off. I just realised they pitted the Verstappen and Leclerc on the same lap. It's only just dawned on me. Ultimate lap 4, Mick. It's not a VSC, unfortunately, or anything like that we can take advantage of, but it's people at the back of the field after having pitted, I think. Albon shouldn't be there normally. Just taps, I don't know which one it is, Djokovic, I imagine. Yeah, Djokovic. Actually, Mick's got enough tyres to attack these on the in-lap to mitigate that as much as he can. Albon's deemed at fault for that. Not the best stop. So, Porsche hasn't pitted. He's the only one that hasn't, I don't think. But he should come through just by virtue of pitting earlier. Verstappen comes through, as does Leclerc. Okay, so we've been undercut quite massively there. To be expected, realistically, but also in the fuel recovery phase. But it is worth noting that Maloney, Verstappen and Leclerc are on the same strategy, and Maloney's smoothness is 100 out of 100, so I don't know what their smoothness attributes are like, or indeed what their car's attributes are like in tyre preservation. But Maloney overtakes Leclerc, which actually means Leclerc's caught him at some point, because he was about 4 seconds behind a lap or two after the pits. It was why I originally put him on conserve fuel, which is probably why he's caught up. Ricciardo's stops have gone off to the point where Mick's got him back, and now Mick's in a train that starts with Verstappen and is Russell and Verstappen going backwards and forwards, and he can't really seem to do much about it because it's wounded Verstappen and Russell. And Mick's done the phantom underfloor problem. He did it in one of the practices. We've already burned through one underfloor, so that's Mick's race over then. It was looking so good for Mick this week in Spain. Alas, the games decided to screw him over. Optimal lap for Zayn. He didn't come up with the prompt, but we'll get him into the pits now. Lap 41. This is going to be a quick race. 2.4. He comes out with Leclerc. Leclerc, however, is on... Oh, I could just look at the vehicle, but Leclerc, however, is on... You see what I mean? 28% Magnussen. The AI doesn't really know how to handle low preservation rates. Hard. Well, Zayn can get away with a medium, Leclerc can only get away with a hard. Stop flashing me about the underfloor. It's not my... I can't do anything about it, for one, and B, it's nonsense anyway. Now he's lost so much time compared to Leclerc. 6/10 slower. I see what the lap times are now, because I think there might have been a situation with trying to get past Nico Hülkenberg there, but 1:18.0. Again, he's slower. Why is he so much slower? Ah, right, so it's not told me to bring Mick in there. That's not great. Maloney's caught him on this lap and given him DRS, so that's nice. Maloney is consistently slower than Leclerc, even though he's on a better tyre. That lap he was faster at last. What is the gap? 3.3. See if I can just close it in with a lap of deploy to see if we can close in a bit. Make Leclerc scared at least. Not in a battle, take that off. Mickey's unfortunately in a battle with Hülkenberg, weirdly, which is ruining his chances of anything. He's got 14% better tyres than him, but that means nothing in this game. Can we just deploy away, please? Thank you, Mick. 10 laps to go, there's a tiny bit of conservation still needed. Been a bit of a dull race, unfortunately. Not a lot's happened. A lot of people getting faults, but nothing we can capitalise on. Leclerc's continued to drive away on a hard freaking tyre, which makes no sense whatsoever. At least Mick's consolidated 10th, which is depressing considering where he started. He might be able to get 9th off Verstappen. Yeah, he's closing right in on Verstappen. There's a lapped vehicle in between here, which is really annoying. That underfloor damage has killed Mick's race, unfortunately, but might be enough to get him to Russell's DRS if we're good here. Sainz gains a mechanical fault now as well, for good measure. Oh, he's actually taken him in that DRS zone. I wasn't expecting him to do that. Russell will get him back, so that's not going to be sensible, really, from Mick long term. Oh, no, Mick's actually driven away from Russell. Sorry, I was expecting a bit more of a backwards forwards there for us to be able to highlight, but no. No, that's not happened. He's just making no headway on Leclerc at all. It's such a surprise, really. Final lap, Mick... Oh, sorry, he's, 2 and a bit behind Ricciardo. I thought it was Porsche we were chasing. It isn't. Despite all these mechanical faults, no one's actually retired. Look at this array of carnage mechanically, and then everyone's still actually driving. Piastri's the leader here, so we've got to go around one more time. Actually, so much space for Mick here in his tyres. 4 seconds. I mean, there's no way we get 4 seconds on Leclerc. You might get caught on a lapping, is our only hope. It's going to have a go at Ricciardo here. He's only 1.5 behind, but Ricciardo's got tyres to hand as well. I mean, again, for a track where we were predicted 17th pre-race, Mick makes it less than a second for a 7th here. Fortunately, the start-finish line is at the start of the DRS zone here, so it's immediate. It's quite a performance from Zayn Maloney from 11th. Mick actually only net loses 1 position, which is to Daniel Ricciardo, all things considered. It's not a terrible performance, despite the underfloor damage. Zayn loses out to Lance. I just realised I didn't put the money in. So, crucially here, though, at Canada, it's a high-speed track, of course, with the long straight, and DRS is effective here. We're still 3rd in that. We should, in theory, have 2 front rings, which we have 2 with the old spec anyway. That brings us to not a huge amount, but a lot more in low speed and medium. Brings us up in, actually, brings us up in quite a few places in dirty air tolerance and preservation. 1%. But most importantly, we also have plenty of rear wings, which gives us a huge amount of medium speed. We talked about this last time. We've specialised this particular rear wing not to necessarily take away from DRS effectiveness, but we focused it primarily in the medium speed, whereas the last one was mostly in the DRS top speed area. If you look back to the original one, that's the difference between the base one and the first one we did, 11% DRS effectiveness. We didn't really do much with the medium speed on it. This one, however, we have focused on the medium speed, which will bring us up 11 places in medium speed, which means overall now, the car looks like this. Top speed we've fallen away on. I don't know how that's exactly happened, but we are a very well-rounded package now. Still predicted 15th, still predicted 5th in Austria. I don't know if this will update or not, but so this should be fun. One thing I didn't notice immediately, yeah, what's it going to track where? In theory, we might be strong because of a DRS zone, a good DRS zone, or two, or indeed three. It's the double DRS zone and a singular DRS zone, isn't it? At Canada, on what is a relatively short lap, so that DRS help would have been really nice. It's going to rain, and it's raining today as well. So as always, we'll have a look and see. Oh, it's going to be dry at the very end. It almost seems pointless. Weirdly, everyone's gone now on intermediate tyres, and they're going to do a lap time basically when it's going to be dry. It's a short lap, but a hot day, so we'll see if pushing the tyres from the very, very beginning of the lap is actually going to be sensible or not. I don't know if it will be. I also don't know whether it's worth pushing ERS fuel on that from the start of the straight, because there's always the chicane at the end, so it seems rather redundant pushing immediately. Short lap outdid the hot day though there. They're also about to come straight back in again. Good job I called that. Of course our pit box is before the start finish line, so I should have been conscious of that, but yeah. 1:12.2 is the benchmark. Aston Martin takes a checker flag. Third, Piastri 1:11.8. Sonoda admittedly may have been drafting Piastri there a little bit. Speaking of drafting though, how's that Red Bull distance wise? A bit in the distance, I suppose. I don't think we'll be getting much of a slipstream there. I've no idea what our lap time is yet, so we'll find out. We'll find out together. I don't know if it's better or worse or whatever, because we didn't bother doing a intermediate time. Sainz, a 1:11.1. Well, he's a full second down, as is Mick. Ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Ricardo, feels comfortable at least. Oh, some people didn't come out again. We could have done any time, frankly, because some people didn't come out again. Enough people didn't. There were 3 that didn't do a dry time. That still got through. There was Hampton again, out, but for different reasons this time. I would really love to see what Hamilton's qualifying rate is right now. It says 0.95 to start with, rain-wise. Is it going to get wetter this session? It is going to get wetter this session. Okay, so we need to go now, then. I've got an awful feeling we might get caught on traffic. That'll all come out. Although, actually, no, it's only Sonoda so far, and Sainz now. Okay, they're starting to join the party a little bit. Why are they so slow? What's going on? You can go a little faster, Mick. Come on, lad. Put your foot down. Gonna have to make sure I cancel their call in again. I think we're gonna have traffic issues here. Mick's already ruined there by Piastri, I think that was. No, that's Ricciardo actually. Yeah, so Mick's already probably out of Q2 off the back of that alone, because we won't get another chance to be this fast again. I suspect by the time we reach that pack on the big straight, they'll all have started their flying lap. Yeah, Stroll was the last one of those. He's got going now. Yeah, it's worth saying it's not really got wetter since we started our lap. On 15.995. It's faster than any of the intermediate lap times, but yeah, 7/10 that cost him. 7/10 probably. 22.6, 23.3. Yeah, 7/10. It was all that first sector and a 10th in the second. So 6 or 7/10 really. That might be gettable if I get him back out again immediately. Unbelievable. Oh, he's through them better this time though. Better first sector, slower in the other two, and doesn't actually improve at all. Yeah, so he did get the 6/10, but 5/10 slower in the last sector for whatever reason. You can't improve on that now. It's getting wetter every time, so mix out in Q2. Not his fault. Hey, how we always get screwed. Which way is it going in Q3? It's drier. It's drier at the end. 4 people, including Zane, have come out to do a lap in the driest conditions. So this is a straight shootout between Piastri, Stroll, and I think it's Max Verstappen who's doing a lap now, opposed to momentarily. He's slightly out of sync with the others. So cancel that call in. And off we go. Tyres up to temperature. Everything's fine. Max Verstappen will effectively set the benchmark for what is a lap in these conditions. It is about 0.5 millimetre less rain than it was when everyone else did their lap times. A 1:17.2 from Max Verstappen is the benchmark. I'm hoping for 5th. It's quite tight behind Max right now, so I'm going to imagine at least Piastri and Stroll will improve. When he does do a purple middle sector, I don't know if Piastri's yet to do one. Piastri's yet to do one. But it does imply that the middle sector at least is faster than Lance Stroll. Although I don't know where the checkpoint is for that. Implies it was faster than Max's then. Maloney, provisional 1:16.8. Okay, so at worst, third. Stroll is faster. And Piastri, I would imagine, is faster. Not by... Oh, Stroll's on pole in Canada, home race. All right. If you're going to give Stroll a pole, then that's the time to do it. When it's basically a three-way fight between three people who actually went out at the right time. Heavy rain for the race, although it does say starting 1.2, so it is inters to wet. And what's the predicted time? Actually, we still got 70% accuracy on all this. It doesn't tell me here, does it? Annoyingly. That's weird and annoying. Hopefully that isn't properly wet. So it's going to be one of these wet situations where it's probably still intermediate for a little bit later on, but then back to wet. Probably argue we're aiming for making sure we can get to lap 37, but beyond that, make sure we can get the tyres that far. And because it's wet the entire time, I'll go more aggressive on the fuel taking out. Surprisingly few laps you can take out here. All push from the start. We start 3rd and 12th. What could have been for Mick Schumacher there then?
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. And for that man, Mick Schumacher, this could be an interesting race.
This race sees them join the group of Centurions to have made 100 starts in Formula One.
This should certainly be a good one, folks. The drivers are ready and raring to go. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
That explains so much why Mick got absolutely shafted then. Happy 100th race, Mick. Of course you weren't going to have any fun. Do need to have a look at Maloney really here. Still in 3rd. Piastri has got Stroll off the line though. Sainz got Verstappen off the line. Mick, meanwhile, are you kind of looking forwards, looking backwards at all? Kind of looking neither way. Sainz has overtaken Maloney. I wasn't really expecting an attack from behind. Just pinched him at the apex. I think he's a reasonable wet driver, isn't he, Carlos Sainz? So... Oh, he's got him back though. How did he get him back? I haven't had that highlight come through. Can you show me how Maloney got Sainz back, please? So it's going to be quite low for a while. And then we're kind of waiting for effectively lap 37 to do something. Everyone did start on intermediates, didn't they? It wasn't like a weird situation. Mick got Drogovic. I wonder why he was so far removed from Ricciardo. I didn't recognise the fact he'd gone forwards. He's actually homing in a little bit on Ricciardo. He's closed that gap by about half a second to within a second. I don't think we're going to be able to do much. Tsunoda goes straight to a moderate mechanical fault there. Ricciardo struggling to stay on Pourchaire's tail. Makes me feel like he might be. I'll give Maloney a phase of actually attacking these tyres again, because bear in mind this was actually set up to be a 4-push anyway. I just worried about melting them when they're kind of in these low damp territories. If you could ERS past Ricciardo and be completely in by the time we're there, that would be lovely. Thank you very much, Mick. Appreciate it very much. Into the points, Mick. We kind of watched it normally there, so we won't bother replaying. It's probably worthwhile not being on aggression while we're in a dry period. It's not super dry that is burning the tyres, though, is the crucial thing. Ooh, crash. Maloney overtakes Sainz again. That's gone backwards and forwards, but that's the highlight I'm waiting for, the crash. It is at the back again. Dennis Hauger just... Oh, that was kind of a bit weird. It's like he almost got brake checked. That was strange, really. It was like Gasly brake checked him. Mick is on the outside of Pourchaire right there, right now. Could deploy past him. Sainz gets Maloney back again. If we can maybe push him past Tsunoda. DRS is active. Of course it is. We're sub a second. Sub a millimetre. And we are sub a second as well, of course. But that's why there's overtakes between Sainz and Maloney. I wondered why that suddenly later got lively there. Schumacher overtakes Tsunoda, though. Does it at turn 1? And Tsunoda goes off the track and absolutely gets mugged off there. Does he maintain his position? He does maintain his position with... I don't know which Haas it is. I would presume Hulkenberg normally being behind, but no, Hulkenberg's the one in front for a change. We're mixed on his tail and DRSing up to him. And if we can get DRS before it turns off again here, this will be timed perfectly. Maloney's got it on Sainz, crucially, and Mick's got it on Hulkenberg. DRS away, and it's turned off again. Maloney, unfortunately, didn't actually make the overtake, so he's stuck behind Sainz now, forever. Oh, Hulkenberg's actually overtaken Mick without DRS. That's a tad awkward. What? Are they just going for it or something? Because Hulkenberg's just gone through Mick and driven away. Oh yeah, their tyres are so much worse. Yeah, they're attacking them. Slow to react to that, but There'll be a phase at some point where they're not attacking their tyres and we are. So that'll be now. I think that's the way to do it. Just keep phasing in and out of actually attacking the tyres. Let them heat up, let them get hot, and then as soon as they get hot, cool them back down again. But we are kind of stuck in a bit of no man's land now. There's a buffer before and behind both of our vehicles. Actually kind of struggling to overheat the tyres, which is not a bad thing. He actually does the fastest lap. It's gone beneath a millimetre again, briefly. Verstappen's on the back of Maloney all of a sudden, as it gets wet again. Leave us alone, Max. Oh, Mick found Leclerc all of a sudden. They are fighting each other, but we appear to have just gone past the pit entry before people have started reacting to the rain. I think it's the lap for it. Crucially, though, what's the gap between our vehicles? About 6 or 7 seconds? We should be all right then. It's going to be wet by the time we get back around, that's for sure. I'll deploy Zane as well, just to make sure he gets further up. Interestingly, Stroll didn't pit, nor did the Leclerc. This is why I worried about the time difference. Because, of course, delayed pit stop. Mick's held for the Ferrari, I think, as well, which doesn't help. Yeah, so we got absolutely mugged off, because of course we did. Oh, Verstappen, sorry, not Leclerc. Leclerc was the one who stayed out. Still P4 and P6, but can destroy these tyres if we wanted. It's not a particularly thrilling race, is this? It's a problem when it gets rainy. There's no DRS to really help. We're getting close to a second off Max again. I don't know if that actually becomes a challenge. 4/10? Maybe just whack overtake mode on for a lap here? Oh, I can actually probably harvest with Zane. Ah, the damp period. Right, yes. I just realised we're not actually in the period where it's going to hurt the tyres yet. Max clearly turned everything up on his car. Okay, so temperature's getting way low right now. Conserve these tyres as best we can. This might be the time to actually attack Max, because they always struggle in these periods, because they don't preserve their tyres and they boil them. So this is our chance to absolutely nail him. I said chance, I didn't say it was going to be certain. Weird that we only got the Verstappen overtakes Mick version of that. Put him in the barrier. Come on, Mick. I'll break him here at least. What are you doing? Now Mick's tyres are overheating anyway, regardless of looking after them. This dry period's lasting a lot, well, I say dry period, damp period's lasting a lot longer than it seemed to on the graph. And back to standard. Be interested to see what everyone's tyres are on. Oh, actually, they've done all right on protecting them. Sainz and Piastri a little less well. Maloney's on 74%. Tyre whisperer. But I think we're going to have to settle for 4th and 6th, really. I don't think he'll reel Max back in now. Maybe the fuel burning might help. Lapping Hauger definitely didn't. Interesting. Water level's suddenly plummeting again. It's 8 laps of intermediate. What's the risk? What is the risk versus reward? Mick comes out ahead of Ricciardo no matter what. And it won't be much to get Porsche back. So Mick is risking 6th and 7th, essentially. Maloney might still come out ahead of Porsche. Maloney could still come out ahead of Porsche if we have a good pit stop. Which, frankly, actually we probably could do with. Let's see if anyone actually pits. It's 10 laps and it's going to be intermediate for all of them. According to this, it's 10 laps is going to be intermediate for all of them. I don't know why you wouldn't. I'm risking it. It's a huge gamble, but it's a boring race up to this point, so we needed to do something. A 2.0 pit stop, though. We'll take that. Thank you very much. That might be the fastest pit stop, and Maloney does come out ahead of Porsche. That might be the fastest pit stop in the game so far. So it is actually only 13 seconds to get Verstappen back for Maloney, and 18 to get Leclerc back for Mick. Push the fuel again, of course. Now we're out of the pit stop. So I was like, who's that in front of Maloney? But it's about 10 seconds to Leclerc now, so it's a lap vehicle. It's an Alpine that just won't get out of the way, is what it is. So every lap we're on these, though, is a lap that we're gaining on them, if they do decide to pit late. 8 laps, 11 seconds. Thereabouts. And every lap that goes by, the drier the track gets. What are the lap times? I don't think we've actually completed a full lap yet, so this is the first time we get to contrast and compare. It's 1.5 seconds faster as the other Alpine now gets in our way. For the love of God. The hunt is on. There's another car to get past, though, in between them. Fittipaldi, I think it is. Mick's pace is actually the true pace, because he didn't have to deal with the lapping, I don't think. 1:23.7 from Mick. 1:23.6 from Maloney. Still at 1:25, 2 seconds to Verstappen that time. I'm melting these tyres. I don't know if it's better to come off them briefly. We've got one target back. Why are we watching this from the wrong angle? Yep, up the inside by Tao. So what are the intervals? 2 seconds to Leclerc. Still 4 laps to go. Oh, sorry. 2 seconds to Leclerc and Verstappen. They are both there. And I'd probably say just attack them from here, because even if we did call them down for the last lap, it won't make a difference at this stage. Full attack now. The track is 2.3. They should be absolutely useless, right? What were you doing, Zane? That's not how you overtake, is it, mate? Right. Leclerc dispatched, I would hope, at this point. Max dispatched. Fortunately, it is 20 seconds to Stroll, and I don't think even this disparity in tyres is going to help that one. The good news is, though, the gamble may have been essentially negligible for Zayn, but I needed to do it because I think Mick's going to be able to get to Verstappen by the end of this race, which means if he was able to get to Verstappen, he would have been able to get to Zayn if he stayed on his wet tyres. There's 3 laps to go. He's only 3 seconds behind Verstappen as well. Got to deal with Leclerc first, but he's going to do him into this corner if he's not careful. Absolutely just scything through it now. So we're back to 4th and 6th. We're back to where we were when we pitted. I'll watch that one. Hopefully it will give us a nicer angle on it. Helicam, interesting. But yeah, the grip we've got right now is biblical compared to theirs. 1.5 to Max. I say it was 22 seconds from Maloney to Stroll. End of the previous lap. It's 14 now. Went through Verstappen like he wasn't even there. There are 2 laps to go. It's not just that they're on wet tyres, it's that their tyres are melting. Sainz might even get a puncture if he's not careful. It says last lap Maloney 121.5, Stroll 125.6. I do not think that's the case based on this lap. Why is that saying we're doing 121s and they're doing 125s? That's clearly not true. We cut that gap down. Oh no, sorry. We did cut that gap down by about 5 seconds to Stroll. Imagine if Sainz got a puncture on the final lap here though. And because of actually his tyre wear, Piastri got Sainz on the final lap. Somehow only cut the gap to Stroll by another 3 seconds on that final lap. Probably traffic based, but it was worth it for Mick, and it was worth it for Maloney because Mick would have gone through Maloney as well if I hadn't, because Maloney was only about a second or 2 ahead of Verstappen. So it was necessary to do it for both of them. Technically loses a place as Zayn, but Mick goes up 7. Happy 100th. And realistically, points-wise, percentage-wise, faring so much better than he did last year when he was on about 10% of our points, at best. Or was it? It's actually technically 6%, wasn't it? Because he was 6 out of 100. Exactly. So this time, 51 to 104, he's at about a third of our total combination. So we'll have that, thank you very much. And we do gain on Ferrari. We are fighting for third here. Red Bull and McLaren are fighting each other. They're clearly a separate fight, and that is indeed the fastest pit stop here. I don't know if this is the fastest pit stop full stop. We do get Aston Martin in this championship as well. And doing those second pit stops was necessary for both vehicles to get into that DHL pit stop list as well, which they both did in the end. So it will be Austria next, which is a sprint race. We've got driver tension here as well, between the 2 that actually get on. Of course. I'll remember to actually give myself the money this time round. It's a sprint in Austria and then Silverstone, a nice, lovely pair of races to tackle next time round. And actually, with a sprint in Belgium and then Hungary before the summer break, that's quite a neat one as well. As I say, whenever there's a sprint, we'll just do that as essentially 2 races. So it will just be Austria and Silverstone, and it will be Spa and Budapest. So they're the next 2 up for us. But thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode, things are ticking along nicely. We're getting our car into a consistent space now. We won't develop new car parts until the next ATR period opens. We actually finish research the day after it day it begins. In fact, I'm actually starting my research early for next year now. In the space after we've developed a piece, but before the next ATR window, we're slipping in as much research we can this year. Now that we've finally got enough funds to do it, we can actually sort of build going forward. The regulation vote comes in as well. The weird one, which is always about the structure of the competition in some way, shape or form. That's going to be at the end of next episode too. So that's always fun to look forward to. But if you enjoyed this, do like and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.